Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today I want to talk about side decking. Now, I know that side decking was briefly available for some Digimon Card Fest events in like 2022, um, and it hasn't really been around for any main events like regionals or nationals, and I think it should be. Recently, what got me thinking about this is that I was deck building for BT16, my Dorugoromon deck, and in testing, which is vanilla Dorugoromon, I'm struggling with decks like Magna X and Rapid X, and I I just don't think the deck is good into things that have armor purge or things that have DP reduction effects because the collision really suffers when you can't delete your opponent. Um, so that got me looking at Publimon from BT16. So on play and when digivolving, you place the top card of one of your opponent's Digimon with the vaccine trait at the top of their security, and then when a card is added to your opponent's security stack, if they have 3 or more security, you trash the top or bottom card of their security. This is fantastic against Magna X or Rapid X because it removes an Armor Purge body, and then you get to trash it when it gets added to security. And if they have any other generic yellow vaccine cards that are going to add things to security, this counters that. If your opponent turn 1 Patamon TK, you could turn 2 hard slam a Publimon, and now it's like, okay, if you do your Patamon effect and you try to recover, I'm going to trash that security. Which is a really nice denial to have. However, what do I do if I main deck this card and I'm playing against Mirage, or I'm playing against Terran Kabuteri? It's like this card has a purpose, and that purpose can't be realized because it can't come in and out of a deck as it pleases. Um, Another card that I was thinking about that kind of has the same application is Namakamon. I think that's how it's pronounced. But when digivolving or on play, if you have 3 or more security, one of your Digimon can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's effects and isn't affected by de-digivolve effects until the end of your opponent's turn. This is something that black decks could benefit from if they had the ability to side it in against matchups where it mattered. Um, and I think that just kind of leads me to the overall general idea that I feel like with so much power creep in BT16 and so many really, really strong decks coming out that feel really hard to play against if you just don't have the right tools, I feel like it would make sense to give side decking to players. Like, if I'm playing a deck that's black and I want to play against Yellow Vaccine, then why can't I side in my Publimons and have an actual chance against Magna X when it's such a domineering deck, anyways? And there's other decks in the game outside of BT16 that benefit from this too, right? Like Death Xmon. I mean, it's great in main board, right? You run it at 1 on almost every deck, especially when there's wide board cards in the meta. But also, what if I didn't have to mainboard Death Xmon? I mean, I get more consistency pieces when Death Xmon is in my sideboard, and then if I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing against Ukomon or Red Hybrid, let me main sideboard it in. Same with Crimson Blaze. Like, my Minervamon deck profile is a mess because I had to tech in so many cards for so many different matchups that I struggle against. Like, Crimson Blaze covers wide board. The Skull Greymons cover wide board. The Death Xmon, stuff like that. If all those cards could be on sideboard and I could run straight gas, I mean, the deck would generically be more consistent and more fun to play. And then when I play those matchups where I need those specific tools, I get to side those in. Or like the Black Gato Oovers. I would love to play my Ogremons, but I can't because Black Gato Oover has to stay in the mainboard slot. So, lastly, another thing that I think is worth mentioning is these big security bomb cards. I feel like they always get dropped because they're not efficient and they're not great in general. But if I was playing against something that's just going to run through my security and play big stacks that suffer when they get blown up, I feel like I would be incentivized to sideboard something like Gaia Force. Like, there's so many options that you could run that are situational that you would never mainboard, and they become viable when they're available in sideboard. And I just think that it's a shame that we're not allowed to do that in this game. And that's not, I don't think, well, at least I don't think that's me being salty about, like, oh, I play bad decks and I want to be able to do things against good decks and have them be consistent at the same time. Like, I want my cake and I want to eat it too. But other card games that I played that allow for side decking, I feel like also just benefit from that. Like Magic, part of the fun that exists in playing a matchup is that I can get stomped in round 1, and then I sideboard in 8 cards that change my deck, and now I have a chance. And it just makes the matchup more dynamic and more interesting. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on side decking. I just think it's a little silly we don't have it, and that's why I was thinking about it recently. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think we should allow side decking? What would you side deck if we could? Do you think it helps better decks more? Like, do top top decks get more domineering when they can side deck for their weaknesses, or are we just allowing weaker decks to actually have a chance against them? That's it for this video, though. It's just a quick discussion that I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.